Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm bringing you guys an update to my Harpie deck profile. Now, this was a suggested video by one of our former patrons, Scott, so big shout out to Scott for requesting this deck profile. If you guys have any other deck profiles to request, always drop those down in the comment section. I usually try to respond to as many comments as I can and build as many of the decks that you guys request. So this is going to be a pure variant, pure build, so no tri-brigades and stuff like that, but I could also do a tri-brigade list at some point in the near future because I do want to sort of explore that deck. So if you guys are interested, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. Like the video if you guys enjoy the content, and let's get on into the video. So we are playing 3 copies of Harpie Channeler. Harpie Channeler is like a mandatory 3 of. This card is just super duper good for being able to discard a Harpie card, to be able to special summon a Harpie from deck. Really nice to be able to get a dragon on the field so she can become a level 7. So you can go into cool rank 7 plays. Or if you don't go into the dragon plays and just keep her with a level 4, then you can easily go into some rank 4 plays. And then obviously we have our synchro monster, which we will get into a little bit later. But Channeler, super duper good for the deck. Then 3 copies of Perfumer, also just kind of like a mandatory starter or extender. This card, when it gets special summoned, it allows you to add a card that lists Harpie Lady Sisters in its card text, or if you have a level 6 or a level 5 or higher Harpie on the field, then you're able to add 2 such cards, which is really cool just to be able to get that free advantage off of her. Then we are playing 1 copy of Harpie Oracle. Overall, Oracle is really nice as an extender, but if you can find different ways to like search her or add her, whatever, Oracle is still just sort of nice as a 1 of, so that's just kind of why I like her in here. You have 1 copy of Queen to be able to use her to discard and then search for your field spell, and then 1 copy of the Harpie Harpist. Harpist is really nice because when she's in the graveyard, during the end phase, you're able to add 1 copy of one level 4 or lower Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand, which is really cool with an attack of 1500 or less, I believe it is. 1500 or less, yeah. So really nice, really good to be able to search for stuff. Searches a majority of the monsters except for like Queen there. Then we have our 2 copies of Harpie Lady 1. I still really like playing Harpie Lady 1 over stuff like the vanilla Harpie because you can do like link plays and stuff with the Harpie Lady 1. But overall, I feel like it's easy enough to get into dragons and stuff because you generally want to play like the 1 if you want to go into with Channeler to make it a dragon, so it's to make a dragon on the field to go into a level 7 play. But overall, I just don't really think that it's that necessary. There's just a lot of different ways to be able to go in for that. But Harpie Lady 1 is nice to be able to just get an extra beater. It's a monster that actually has an effect, so it's kind of nice. And then paired with 1 copy of Harpie Lady Sisters. I still like this because we're playing a lot of the cards that gain benefits off of being able to specials or have a level 5 or higher Harpie on the field. Then we are playing 3 copies of the newer, I should say newer, not new, because I did not build this deck when this new card came out, but this is the first profile that I'm hosting with it. So we are playing the 3 copies of the Harpie Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fire Blast. This card is super duper good for the deck, being able to get this out onto the field. You can special summon it to the field if you have a Harpie on the field, which is really cool. Also, it gives protection to your level 6 or lower Harpie monsters, which is also just really cool. So if you control a level 6 or lower wind monster, special summon this from the hand. And then also, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 winged dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is where your copy of Harpie Harpist comes in. So that's why we're only playing it at 1 now. You really don't need to play a whole bunch of copies of it. So overall, these just work really well to be able to go into rank 7 plays. And then we are playing 1 copy of the Tempest. Overall, just as another extender, and also this card can help to unbrick your hands because with this card, you can discard this from your hand along with a wind monster to the graveyard to be able to add 1 dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. So if you already blow your normal summon on, like, let's say you special summon Channeler, you use Channeler's effect to discard, and then your opponent hits you with like an Imperm, but yet you still have like Tempest, and then like another like Harpie, like a Harpie Lady 1, or your sisters or whatever, just a dead card in your hand, then you can still go for Tempest, be able to do that, and then you still get like that rank 7 play off. It's not very optimal, but it's still just really nice, and he's just a card that can get you a ton of advantage through a grind of your game. And then we are playing 1 copy of the Barrier Statue of the Stormwind. This card is just also just really nice to be able to slow down your opponent. We will get into the versatility of that in a little bit, but we are playing 3 copies of the Hysteric Sign. This card is just obviously super duper good because if it gets like sent to the graveyard, destroyed by a card discard effect, whatever. However, it like leaves the field or your hand. When it was sent from the field or hand to the graveyard, add 3 Harpie cards from your deck to your hand. This is generally where you want to like search for your Oracle and maybe your Queen. Just a lot of really good plays that you can get off with the sign, just so you can get into more extenders and whatnot. It's just unfortunate that it happens during the end phase. But then we are going on into 3 copies of Elegant Egotist. I was kind of floundering between 3 Egotist or 2 Egotist and 2 Oracle, but overall I still like playing the 3 copies of Egotist, because with Egotist you can just extend so much, and like you can only technically use Oracle's effect once per turn. So with the Egotist, if you draw into multiples of them, they're just so good, and you can get them back from the graveyard with Hysteric Sign. You can search them from the deck with Hysteric Sign, but you generally want to get the discard effect off of Hysteric Sign or the sent from field to graveyard effect. So overall, I just really like playing the 3 Egotist, just so I can extend as much as possible. If you draw into multiples, as long as you have 1 Harpie, it's still really amazing. Then 3 copies of Swallow's Nest. This is like the secret tech of the deck, but this is a card that a lot of people were playing a few years ago and kind of slowed down on, but I think that this card is still really good, because if your opponent hits you with something that needs to target, like Imperm, Effect Veiler, or whatnot, Swallow's Nest is still just really solid, because you're able to tribute a face-up Wing Beast monster and then special summon another Wing Beast from the deck with the same level. So if you get hit by an Imperm on your Channeler, you can just go ahead and use Swallow's Nest to get rid of it, and then you can go into something like Barrier Statue. And so even if you just set this on your field during your opponent's turn, you can flip this like in the standby phase and then just go boom, Swallow's Nest. I'm going to go into a copy of my Barrier Statue, or you wait for your opponent to hit you with like a Forbidden Droplet, and then you go for the Barrier Statue. As long as you leave like a level 4 on the field, whatever, let your opponent like use up their Dark Ruler no more, their field disruptions, and then Swallow's Nest. This card is just a game winner, or it's just like your savior during your turn when your opponent hits you with certain disruptions. Then we have our 1 copy of Harpie's Feather Rest. This card is super duper good for shuffling stuff back to the deck and drawing extra cards. 1 copy of Harpie's Hunting Ground, because obviously we can search it. 1 copy of Harpie's Feather Duster, just because it kind of goes with the theme of the deck, and it is searchable with our trap card, which we will get to. 1 copy of Called by the Grave, just so as many of our plays go through. This is just almost like a 4th copy of your Swallow's Nest, but, you know, for different reasons. Then we have our 3 copies of Hysteric Party. This card, really just amazing. I was almost going to drop it to 2, but this card is just too good to not play at 3 copies, because it gives you a discard outlet for getting rid of your Hysteric Sign and whatnot, and just being able to like soul charge, bring back 5 Harpies from the graveyard sounds pretty good to me. Then we were playing 3 copies of the Harpie's Featherstorm, the most broken card in the deck, basically, just to be able to shut off all of your opponent's monster effects. You want to play this at 3 and just get to it as quickly as possible. 1 copy of Trap Trick to be able to get into your Harpie's Featherstorm, or our next card, which is going to be our 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, which is just like our main board breaker hand trap of the deck. So 3 Imperms and 3 Harpie's Featherstorm to be able to utilize with your Trap Trick. You're just basically giving you a 4th copy of Imperm or a 4th copy of Harpie's Featherstorm. But that's going to do it for the 40 card main deck. Let's get on into the extra. So for the extra, we're playing the 1 copy of the Cyber Slash Harpie Lady. She is just super duper good for being able to like plow through boards, because with her on the field, she's able to bounce one of your opponent's monsters back to the extra deck. If either player activates a spell or trap card, which is just super duper good. You can even bounce your own cards, I believe, which is cool, because if you have like a once per turn effect or something on the field that you just want to recycle, it's really cool. Target a monster your opponent controls or a Harpie monster you control to return it back to the extra deck. So if your opponent had something on one of your monsters that like negated its effects, send it back to the extra deck and then bring it back out, and now the effects would be live again, whatever the case. Then we're playing for the XCs 1 copy of Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Also, I do want to go back to the Synchro. A lot of people play 2 copies of this, but with like your Harpie's Feather Rest, you're able to recycle it, and there's really no reason to play like multiple copies, I don't think, to try to get multiples out at once. So with your Feather Rest, you can still recycle this, and just if it's really in danger, you can always bounce itself back to the extra deck. So I'd rather play more versatility. This is a really big toolbox extra deck, kind of like Virtual World, how they just play a whole bunch of toolbox stuff for whatever scenario you're in. It's still pretty good, I think, to just play a good variety of stuff. So we're playing 1 copy of Lightning Chidori, just one of the best cards in this deck, and just look at how beautiful this card looks in ultra rare, or ultimate rare, my bad. But yeah, Lightning Chidori, just super good, being able to get rid of set cards, get rid of face-up cards, spinning them back to the deck is just super duper good. 1 copy of Ice Beast Zero Fine, this card is just so good. Being able to just negate all of your opponent's face-up cards on the field and then become a big beater is really amazing. 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack, 1 copy of Big Eye, and then 1 copy of Zeus. I wish I could have fit in like more rank 7s, more rank 4 stuff, but the Link Climb stuff in this deck is also still pretty good. So we're going to move to the Link monsters. 1 copy of Harpie Conductor. She just fits with the theme, gives you another Harpie name, and she is still pretty good, giving you protection and stuff. 1 copy of Great Fly just for another attack boost, along with your Harpie Lady 3 or Harpie Lady 1s. Your guys can get pretty beefy and OTK pretty well. 1 copy of Win, in case you're playing against Flunder or something. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. 1 copy of, oh my gosh, Halzingver, or however you say, Despair Doom Eagle. That's what we're going to call it. Just for being able to spin stuff back from your opponent's extra deck, and to be able to be a big 4800 attack beater. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 copy of Evermax, just for another IP Masquerena target, and then 1 copy of Borosword Dragon. Just really nice to be able to play a dragon in the extra deck to be able to beat your opponent down, and also to be able to coincide with your Harpie Channeler so it can become a level 7. But that's going to do it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one was really cool to pick back up again. Harpies has always been one of my favorites, so I was really excited to pick this one back up again. If you guys have any other deck profile requests, let me know down in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. I will try to get all of the comments if I can. Consider joining the Patreon if you guys want to help to support the channel. But anyways, I will see you guys for the next profile. Peace.